Hello, everybody, and welcome to your Week 14 recap show. He's James Moynihan. I'm Ross Berge. A big thanks goes out to everyone that came down this weekend. We had a great time, especially at the Redskins-Patriots game.
Absolutely incredible. Just getting gronked all weekend.
The whole
Incredible
time.
stuff.
All right, getting into last week's games. A-Town Rat Tails 82, Too Bad to Win 81. We all thought Jake had a victory. Going to bed Sunday night, we all thought he won. We wake up the next morning. You somehow get a point to win.
Yeah, I'm like a young Tim Tebow out there, pulling out victories in the fourth quarter, and that's what champions need. They need victories. Aaron Rodgers plays only 3 quarters, puts up 17 points. A huge week for the Rat Tails.
All right, next up, Kim Kardashian's Lack of Bush 92, Honolulu Flying Hawaiians 91. Of course, Antonio Brown had a huge game for Rag. Vic and Bradshaw, they sucked on their games back. Plus, Rag loses Jennings now for the year.
Yeah, tough loss for Rag. This, I think, really knocks him out of the money within the division. Real tough loss. Ricky needs to win out, I think, to have a shot. But I think he's the one team that can probably do just that.
All right, next up, Burgalicious 125, Hainsworth's Jiggly Tits 107. Gronk gets 2 touchdowns, and one of the guys he was traded for, Beanie Wells, gets only 2 points for BMAC.
Yeah, big win for you. This is now the 3rd straight game where you've scored over 100 points, and that's put you right in the mix, a shot at the money and a shot at the division title. You're in the thick of things.
You betcha. I'll talk about that later.
Okay.
Doug Glad about his vasectomy 92, Fat Albert's Fan Club 65. Chooch here gets a rare victory. Notably, he takes out Mike Thomas and substitutes Steve Preston.
Yeah, Chuck, you listen to what we say and you see what happens.
Yep.
I mean, maybe you should think about that as we move into next season.
All right, next up, Rex Ryan's Pedophiles 95, Fighting Frog Swamp 77. Albert, without Forte, gets a huge game from Matt Ryan. And Brendan, struggling without a QB.
Yeah, this is an enormous loss for the Fighting Frog Swamps, putting them a game and a half back within the Hard Times division. Al still remains on top of his division now by half a game, and now he's won 2 straight games, which is a rarity for him. But only 3 games to play. Brendan's in tough shape here.
All right, Thompson Takeover 132, Kindergarten Cop 62, MJD with 37 points, Tony Romo with 28, Andy now really struggling in the league.
Yeah, ever since Peterson's been out and Calvin Johnson has been very quiet since the bye after a huge first half of the season. Very, very quiet. He's looking. He's still tied for 2nd place, but he's got 4 teams ahead of him. Andy is. So it's going to be tough for him to get in the money.
Grimsley Bears 127, Corporate Fat Cats 100. Jed puts up good numbers, 100 points, but Grim, who's overdue for a win, gets a big one here.
Yeah, Grim put up 100 points 3 times in the first 5 games this season, but then he had only 1 win in the next 8 weeks. That is an incredibly terrible streak. Started off so hot, but cooled off, and it's good to see him get back on the winning streak.
Yep. All right, we're going to play a little game here, true or false.
I love games.
True or false here. Tim Tebow should start in fantasy football.
On Jed's team, that answer is true. Even if he puts only 68 yards passing like he did one week, he's going to run, and chances are he's going to run for a touchdown. He's had at least 12 points every single week. Phillip Rivers has been up and down throughout the season, has only eclipsed 20 points, I believe, twice this season. So I think on Jed's team, Tebow is a start.
Although I do like Tim Tebow, I don't think he should start in fantasy football. He's too inconsistent. Sometimes he only throws the ball 15 times. I just don't think he's a good fantasy play.
You're racist.
I'm racist.
My question for you is, the A-Town Rat Tails will win the league this year, true or false?
I'm afraid to say I think it's true. I do. I think, being up 2 games, we don't have many games left, only 3 games. I think you're going to take it.
I got the Golden Rat out and ready. I am very excited. That's obviously true. It's not obvious, but I have an outside shot of actually clinching the league title this week if I win and Brendan, Al, and JK all lose. But, I mean, if I lose this week, we've got a brand new ball game. There's teams that could be within a half a game with 2 weeks to go. So
we'll
see what happens.
All right. True or false, Albert will win his division, the Happy Endings division.
Yeah, Al sits up half a game, but I think it's false. I actually think Al, JK, and Andy all lose once, and you and BMAC will win out. I think BMAC is actually going to be able to pull it out because I think he'll be able to score more points than you down the stretch, even though you have more right now. With Beanie Wells and Arian Foster, I just feel like he's going to be able to inch that out. JK's got a tough couple games coming up. What do you think?
I think Albert will not win.
Okay,
I
so
think
false.
I think
Couple
JK.
falses.
Yep, false.
Yeah.
I think either JK or I will take it down.
Okay.
I think JK and I are in the driver's seat. I think Al will lose a game or two. I think we'll win.
We'll have to see.
One of us.
We'll have to see. My next question is about last week. The verb gronk, was it overused last Sunday?
I would say false.
Okay.
I think Merriam-Webster's dictionary might actually add that verb to their dictionary next year.
Yeah, I also think it's false. I think we gronk the gronk out of that gronk, and anybody who has a gronk with that can frankly just gronk themselves. Okay.
All right. Looking at next week, we have Too Bad to Win versus Doug lied about his vasectomy. This is actually your game.
Yeah.
So
You want me to talk about it? Sure.
go ahead.
These are the bottom two teams in each division as they face off against each other in really a battle for Natick pride. I mean, this is all eyes of Natick are watching this one.
Flutie might watch this one.
Sure. I think it looks like Andre Johnson is not going to play this week, but I don't think Chuck's team can put up 2 consecutive solid weeks. Matthew Stafford going against Oakland, I think he has a huge day. I think Jake wins this one.
Yeah, I don't think there's any chance Chuck wins 2 in a way. I'm going with 2 in a row. I think Jake wins this one. A-Town Rat Tails versus Fat Albert's Fan Club. Jamie's riding his 8-game winning streak. John has lost 5 of his last 6, or lost all 5 of his last 5 games. Lost 8 of his last 9. I think Rogers will have another big game against the Chiefs. I think you win.
Yeah, I hope so. This could be the perfect storm, but I think I win this one too. Next up, we got the Grimsley Bears versus Kindergarten Cop. This is an absolutely monster game for Andy as he gets Adrian Peterson back.
Yep.
I look for Calvin Johnson to hop back on the saddle as well. I think he breaks out of his slump in a big way. Ryan Grant won't come close to the 21 points that he put up last week. I think that Andy takes this one, and I think he takes it big.
All right. Yeah, no offense, Graham. I don't think you win 2 in a row either.
This is not personal.
Andy will take it. Hopefully he doesn't take that personally. Honolulu Flying Hawaiians versus Rex Ryan's Pedophiles. I think Vic and Bradshaw will bounce back. I also really need Rag to win this one, so I'm gonna put all my faith behind Rag.
You need Al to win this one.
No, Rag.
Rag. Yes, you're right. I'm sorry. You're right. I would love to see Rag win this one. I don't think it's going to happen. I think Al takes it.
We'll see.
Next up, we got Bergylicious versus the Fighting Frog Swamps. Another monster game here that with teams that are looking to get in the money. Ross has put his Patriot duo basically in the forefront, and they have carried him to 3 consecutive 100-point victories, like we talked about. Brendan has essentially no options at quarterback. He's been up and down all season, and I think it'll come down to the tight ends, kickers, and defenses positions in this one. And Ross, you have the better position players at all 3 of those spots.
Thank you. Yeah, and I would like to note that I have the 4th most points in the league, and actually more points than the 2 division leaders. Won 5 out of my last 6, averaged 117 in my last 3. I'm on fire. Get out of the way.
You've also scored less than 60 about 7 times.
That's true. that was earlier. Corporate Fat Cats versus Hainsworth's Jiggly Tits. Jed's actually going with Tim Tebow in this one, hence the earlier question. I think BMAC wins with essentially a resurgence from Percy Harvin.
Yeah, my son Henry would like to get a little on-time camera. This is Bring Your Son to Work Day. Here's Henry.
Henry.
That's Hank. There he is. Yeah, I think BMAC wins this one. I think he wins this big. Next up, we're looking at the Thompson Takeover versus Kim Kardashian's Lack of Bush. It's JK versus Snoots. 2 more teams looking to get in the money, and this is another big game. JK has a tough stretch of matches like we talked a little bit about. He's got Brendan and Snoots in a couple of weeks here. You have to put up a lot of points to beat Snoots, and I just don't see that happening this week for JK. MJD and CJ Spiller have tough defenses that they're going up against. And I think the Michael Bush and Ray Rice combination has been just absolutely ridiculous over the last 5 or 6 weeks. I think Snoots takes this one.
I hope JK loses, so I'm taking Snoots.
Excellent.
All right.
We're actually going to go talk about the marquee matchup this week. It's actually going to be my matchup with Johnny Diamond, John Hart. And this is big for a lot of reasons.
We haven't had him on.
We have not had John on. We're going to get him on the horn here.
Hello.
John!
Hey, how you boys doing?
Hey, how you doing, buddy? Thanks for joining us here on the Recap Show.
Oh, well, thank you for having me. It's good to be here.
Absolutely. John, we're going to get right into it. The reality is you're facing a 8-game win streak. You're facing the Rat Tails. What are you thinking about your chances this week?
I'm feeling pretty good, not going to lie. First off, I think I'm far overdue for a win.
Yeah.
Second of all, last night I pulled out to a pretty hefty lead. So
Yes, you are up.
right now 3-1.
You are up 3-1.
Huge.
Mm-hmm.
3-1. So I've got the edge right there. Also, Chris Johnson, I think he's gonna put another 4 up against Indianapolis.
Ooh.
I'm believing in Tebow time. I got Demaryius Thomas and Louis McGahee going up against your New England Patriots.
Yeah, that's kind of a crock of shit. I don't know how I feel about that. Not only do I have to root against the Denver Broncos as they face the Patriots, but also against my fantasy team.
Well, I went to church last week, and they told me that it's going to be a fantastic showing by the Denver Broncos.
John, I want to hear from you what you think can attribute to your 5-game losing streak.
Terrible trade with Jamie for Darren McFadden did not help me since he's not played since I think the week after I first got him. That didn't help me too much.
Yep.
Piss poor managing in general. Getting rid of MJD and some other one of my guys. Bad luck helped a couple times. Magic points. All those kind of things have counted to a pretty crappy season for me. So
A lot of things against you, huh?
well, I'm doing better than last year, so I'm still keeping positive.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it has not gone as well as success.
Yep.
The magic points. I like that. Well, John, we're heading into the end of the season. What are you looking for from your team to finish out the year and going into next year?
Well, right now, I really am excited about finishing strong. I'm hoping for a nice little 3-game win streak to finish it off, save myself the embarrassment of coming in last or second to last again.
Okay, yeah.
And going into next year, I really need to whip these guys into shape in the offseason. And by that, I mean take them all off of my lineup and get a whole new team.
So you're going to lead the drills?
Say what?
Are you going to lead the drills for your team?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm taking them all to bounds.
Good.
Well, John, I wish you absolutely no luck this week. I hope you put up 32 points and Aaron Rodgers outscores you by himself.
Good luck, Johnny.
Thank you very much. You guys have a great night.
Later,
Okay.
buddy.
All right.